No, Pika. I'm saying that if you were more organized, we'd have the new show already in motion, and we wouldn't be talking about your latest rewatch of the Sopranos. Hi, everybody. How you doing? We're not fighting. No, no. See, I was gonna say something like, you're so full of crap, Pika. I'm gonna have to follow you around with a super duper poopa scoopa. That was one of my grandpa's favorite jokes. I don't know why. It was a simpler time. Welcome back once again. It's time for the golden age of DC Comics. 365 days redo. That's right. I'm taking the month of January to go back and cover in detail something that we really, kind of maybe glossed over a tiny bit in the original show. There's only so far you can do that until it gets really annoying. I know. Oh boy, how you doing today? We are taking this book, this hardcover coffee table book given to us about 2 decades ago by one of our best friends, and has been surfing our coffee table ever since, providing us with a constant source of comic book shop style conversations, the kind we are going to recreate today with each other here at this coffee table. Thank you so very much. So pull up a chair to our coffee table. Tell me what kind of beverage you're shoving under your nose. I have, wait for it, a water, agua. Be water, my friend. Bruce Lee. Yes. This is a $30 water bottle from the Bruce Lee store. Let me wet my whistle. Worth every cent. It's his daughter Shannon's store, so she gets the money. It's not a bootleg. This is official Bruce Lee stuff. Exactly. He's one of my idols. Bruce Lee really is. I only came close to ever having a Bruce Lee kind of body once a couple of years ago. It was like my lifelong goal is like to have that level of definition and svelteness, one could say. We're using this book for its intended purpose. We're going to open up to today's date, which is January the 2nd. We're going to look at some comic book art of an antediluvian age. We're going to read the blurb, and then we're going to talk about comic books. And we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. We're just going to wean ourselves off this book. But yeah, seriously, I mean, last year, I'm not judging anybody. No, I'm not trying to viewer shame you. I know a few of you have watched them. You've told me so. We got 15 views on a 4-minute, 40-second long comic book video 1 year ago today using the same information. I really feel like I want to have fun. We want to have fun. We want to talk about comic books. And I think this is a good excuse to revisit the month of January, seeing that, our viewership really caught on, mid-year to later. And I really feel like we found our voice and we found the knack of our show together, during the year. So these early episodes are great. I think they're cute. Aw, you can see how my background is, come up. And I got a really nice compliment or two that I've gotten a bit more confident in my delivery. And I really appreciate that. Yeah, practice takes perfect. This is a muscle. It's a muscle memory kind of thing. Yeah, so let's get to it. I hope you're clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by them. I'm going to keep the book in the description. In the description, you will find Amazon links to the books that we use regularly in this show. And this is a 2004 Abrams book, written and curated by Les Daniels and Chip Kidd and photographed by Geoff Spear. And this has been a really fun book to showcase our love and to have an excuse to talk about comic books once a day, every day, with a sense of excitement and escapism. Yeah, we're going to just talk about the good stuff as much as we can. So, before we open up to today's date, there's something I was going through the book. So we're between December 31st, yesterday, and today, I wanted to show off the opening and closing pages of the book that aren't the actual content. But these things are these are chosen by the by whoever, I like the inside of that cover. Look, that's onomatopoeia. That's a word that's spelled the way it sounds. Boom! Indeed. And we have the table of contents. We got the acknowledgments, a foreword, and everything. And this is great. Actually, it doesn't need a table of contents. It is what it is. It's a 365 days book. We're going to get to today's date. But before we do that, let me just look it up real quick here. Indicia. The Indicio Colophon. This is what I love about learning more and more about comic books and publications by doing this show. And we've already had a longer conversation than last year's episode already. So, I think that January is it's going to be really fun just to review and come back to it. After, we've been doing this a while. So, let's check it out real quick. All right. You know what I mean? And then, we're just going to get on with the show and keep doing what we're doing. Talking about comic books daily, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Let's talk comic books. The Indicia, the Indicia, that is, here's a comic book. Here's a funny book. Yay. We've talked about it before. Every funny book has it. The fine print. Its volume number, its issue number, the legal stuff. Look, and you have the masthead with all of the editors and owners and the whatnots. That's the dramatis personae of the production of this book. But that's called Indicia Colophon. /COLOPHON Colophon. The Indicia Colophon publisher, so named for the legally required small print in comics from the United States and some other countries, represents the actual official company or person who published the book, as opposed to an informal but commonly used name or publisher group. So, National Publications versus DC Comics until 1977, when the name of the brand was legally changed to, you guessed it, DC Comics. Well, books have publisher information, and they contain the U.S. Library of Congress, its number, its edition printing, first edition, second edition, and the date it was published and where and by whom. So this book in itself has its own indicia that I failed to mention, and because it's part of what we're talking about. So we look at the indicia here on the show of our comics. And this has a lot of legal stuff. See, printed and bound in China. Published in 2004 by the Harry H. Abrams Incorporated, New York. All rights and reserves. Blah, blah, blah. And there's there's just the particulars. We looked at this part here, the ad, but I'm like, look at that. You had indicia here, and you didn't even cover that. And here are okay, I was thinking, where are the attributes for the inside cover arts that do not have a date? And here they are. That the covers from Action number 20. This, the spine is from All Flash number 14, spring of 1944. The back cover is an advertisement from the back cover of Movie Comics number 3, June of 1939. The boom art is Harry J. Peter from Comics Cavalcade number 25, which could possibly be a Wonder Woman tale. Because we know our shit now, huh? We do. This is great. I wanted to know this stuff. The Batman art was by Bob Kane. The Clark Kent art was by Joe Shuster. That's from Action Comics number 6, November of 1938. The advertisement art is from Adventure Comics number 36. Oh, this is great. And it goes on and on. Okay, well, and that Robin art, that last art, we'll show that real quick, by Jim Mooney from Star Spangled Comics, number 74, November of 1947. And this is the one with the clock bits The clock bits in the death trap right here. Isn't that cool? I mean, just, yeah, the huge death traps that await Batman and Robin. How will they get out of this one? Yeah, we're still asking that question. Something happened in the most recent issue of Batman, issue number 130. I think that might be Batman Volume 2. We could look it up. Do we have? Wait a second. We can look at the indicia. Hey, I have the stack of comic books. I have a paper towel, just in case. You don't want to keep liquids around comic books too much. If you do, please be very careful. I mean, all right, here is my, yeah, it's got a bag. It's got a board. All aboard. All right, here. Here's the indicia, right where it should be. The last page there. Okay, this is Batman 130, February 20. Does it have a volume number? It doesn't have a volume number. It just says Batman 130. Wow. Damn. Yeah, Batman 130, February 2023. That means it should be taken off the shelves by 2023. Have a portion or of its entire cover removed. And, well, that doesn't apply anymore because it's not a newsstand. This is from the direct market, from the comic book store. They have no returnability. Some books have very limited returnability as an incentive for the direct market, aka the local comic book shop. And that's like on a case-by-case, title-by-title, event-by-event basis. Oh, wow. Yeah, so this does not say Volume 2, because Batman ran continuously for a while. Got him to really high, issue counts. We could look up the wiki. We could. I think we might. But yeah, the indicia colophon, that is the indicia. And that is meant to represent the actual official company or person who published the book. Indeed. The small print, the legal stuff. We haven't even gotten to the page yet, you know. It's like the least of our worries right now is the book itself. Well, that's right. I mean, it was like our training wheels to organize some daily comic book shop style conversation. And I'm sold on this book. I love it. Like I said, there's a link in the description to its Amazon page. Get your own copy. Play along at home. And it makes a great gift for a geek. It really does. This is art by Joe Shuster from the cover of Action Comics #1, June of 1938, officially the starting gun of the golden age of comic books, ushering in the age of superheroes with Superman. This is a zoom in of an aspect of the cover of Action Comics #1. Above, Superman is stopping, is holding a taxi cab, I believe. He's holding a green sedan car, and he's and its front end. It looks like he's smashing the front of it, and there are people running, terrified. Who is this Superman? What could he want? Who could he be? I make voices. I do. Why is everyone running away? This image, which introduced Superman to the world, shows people reacting with shock and dismay to his display of strength. Today, we are accustomed to regard the character as a benevolent hero. But in his early adventures, this is true, Superman was often viewed with alarm. Of course, the men shown fleeing are actually criminals who attempted to kidnap Lois Lane. But the kids who saw this cover on the newsstand didn't know that, and were probably just responding to a picture of the ultimate strong man. In fact, 4 years after Superman's debut, writer Jerry Siegel still portrayed the police blaming the Man of Steel for various crimes, even firing their guns at him. The transformation into a universally admired icon was a gradual one. And you guessed it, I have pulled up the wiki. ATST. I love you, Rich Evans. I love you, Red Letter Media. I do. Yes, I'm combing my beard. You would too if you had one. You should if you have. And use a beard conditioner, too. They smell nice. They really do. Action Comics is an American comic book / magazine that introduced Superman, one of the first major superhero characters. The publisher was originally known as National Allied Publications and later as National Comics Publications and as National Periodical Publications before taking on its current name of DC Comics, and that was in 1977. Its original incarnation ran from 1938 until the New 52 in 2011, where we got a brand new issue number 1 of Action Comics written by Grant Morrison with art by Rags Morales. I have all 19 issues of that. It's 1 through 18 with a 0 issue thrown in. I liked it. It was just a new skew. It was a new skew on this unique iteration of a beloved old character. That Superman has already died, has come and gone. That Superman died at the beginning of Rebirth, at the much ballyhooed DC Rebirth, and where the pre-Flashpoint Clark Kent and Lois Lane come back, and those characters were a little older than their New 52 variants, and they were married. And they had a son named Jonathan Kent, and he was a little kid, and he was a real, honest to goodness Superboy. And they came back about 2016. Action Comics returned to its original numbering, beginning with issue number 957, and that was in August of 2016. And this is great. He appeared in Siegel and Schuster's fanzine Science Fiction. Siegel then commented, "What if the Superman was a force for good instead of evil?" The writer-artist had worked on several features for National Allied Publications, other titles such as Slam Bradley and Detective Comics, and they were asked to contribute a new feature for National's newest publication. They submitted Superman for consideration, and the rest is history. There's legal stuff to be involved here. Ash cans. What's an ash can? An ash can comic. I love learning more about comic books. An ash can comic is a form of the American comic book, originally created solely to establish trademarks on potential titles and not intended for sale. So you can just have a reprint of some other comic book, I guess, put a cover on it and say throw Superboy on there, and you can trademark that as an ash can, so you can reserve the rights to that when you get to it. And that's what happened with the Superboy story, because Siegel and Schuster came up with the idea of Superboy in 1940, 1941, but they never, it got rejected. DC Comics, though, in 1945-ish, or maybe a little before that, produced an ash can comic with the Superboy logo on it, trademarked that, thus beginning a huge brouhaha between Siegel, Schuster, and National about lawsuits and who created what and who was owed what with the great grand Superman fortune. Look at this T-shirt that I'm wearing to this day. This logo, the Superman property, is probably the biggest piece of DC's pie. Well, actually, right now, it's Batman. If you look at the comic books that sell, there's an overabundance of Batman, Detective Comics, what we consider the Batman family spin-offs, and also non-canonical, multiversal, and just different tales of Batman. And those are the big sellers for DC Comics as of right now. And Superman is actually second banana to the Batman right now. We've been talking about comic books, haven't we? It's about time to wrap up this episode. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. We're talking about Action Comics #1. We're revisiting the month of January in this awesome book that has allowed us to have comic book shop style conversations once a day for just a few minutes. We're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll figure out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here. We talk about comic books every day. I'm a professional chef. I make a lot of cooking content. If Wes sent you from Thinking Critical's show, you know me from the Comics Aficionados. You know me as the Sultan of Soup. I've got a playlist for that. It's called What's Cooking. And I've got all of my soup videos are in there, and also some restaurant level hacks for your home cooking. Thank you so very much for tuning in. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.